Hello guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. This is Joseph Kimani again. So before I start, kindly remember to subscribe, share, and comment. So for today, I want us to cover a certain very important topic on mathematics, that is simultaneous equations. You know, guys, that you'll find that if you want to pass in mathematics, you have to first to specialize in areas that are mostly set and be sure in those areas such that if any question comes in any way, then you'll be able to tackle it from there. And that will maximize your chances of securing a better grade in mathematics. So now for the issue at hand, we are going to be solving simultaneous equations. And this applies all across, doesn't matter which form you are, because even in the KCSE, it will also be set, the simultaneous equations. So if, for instance, you are a Form 4, this means that you've tackled by now 4 methods of solving simultaneous equations. And these are, in Form 1, you tackled substitution and elimination. That's probably Form 1, substitution and elimination. Then moving on to Form 2, okay, not Form 2, but Form 3, you did again simultaneous equation. That's by the use of matrix methods. As well as you also used graphical methods. Now, all the 4 methods are viable for calculating or solving simultaneous equations. But now, there are those that tend to confuse students. So I've seen previously that students are given a simultaneous equation, and then you find that the simultaneous equation is free, it's open. You're just told to solve. That means you can use any method of these 4 to calculate the simultaneous equations. But now you find that some students tend to use some methods which they make mistakes in. For example, I've seen a common mistake by students who use the elimination method. So as my advice, guys, I would advise you to use, if the question is open, I'd advise you to use substitution method, because for substitution, you can always confirm your answer very correctly. And it's a very perfect method, because the chances of you failing that question using substitution will be very less in case you do it correctly. That is, so substitution is basically, this is just algebra, you know. So whenever you want to solve a simultaneous equation and the question is open, you can use any method. So I'd probably advise you to go for the substitution method, because when if you check the matrix method, it's for Form 3, and it's a bit more complex compared to substitution. As well as if you talk of graphical methods, unless you're not restricted, starting to draw a graph, you know, this section equation covers maybe probably 3 to 4 marks. Now starting to draw a graph for 3 to 4 marks, that's in section A, and you're not being told to draw a graph or use a graph method, that will be probably wasting your time. So basically, I'd advise you to use the calculation method, specifically the substitution method. So for today, I'll be going to cover the substitution method and show how you can solve this equation adequately. Now, for this case, I've prepared one question, as you can see here. So here was the question. We're being told to solve the simultaneous equation below. Now we've given, okay, a simultaneous equation lies under linear equations. That is, you've been given 2 equations here now. You're being told to calculate. Okay, I'll solve. The first part of the equation is 7x plus 4y is equals to 14. And then the second part is 3x plus 2y is equals to 8. Now, as you can see here, we have 2 unknown values. We have x and y. But since we have 2 equations, then it becomes possible to find the values for the 2. But for instance, maybe you had just 7x plus 4 is equals to 14. Then that would be very technical for you to solve to get the 2 values if you don't have a second equation. But now for this case, you've been given a second equation to equate to. That's what makes the equation solvable now. Now, using the substitution method, before we even start, you can look at my work in here. Another advice to you guys is that whenever you are doing mathematics, it's probably advisable to divide your working section into 3 parts. You see, I've used 2 dividing lines, and that gives me 3 portions. The first portion, the second portion, and the third portion. As you can see here, the first question is for calculation as well as the second. And then the third part, I'll be getting my final answer. And what do I do after I get my final answer? I double underline. This makes it easier for the teacher who's marking the question to find where your answer is, because you'll find that some people will just do the work randomly, and then maybe the answer will be centrally placed somewhere here. So the teacher won't even see the answer because it's mixed up in the calculation. But if you divide your work like this, then it's going to be very simple for the teacher to follow your working. And remember that in mathematics, you can get 1 mark for method, another mark for the other method, and the answer is just 1 mark, you know. But in this case, most probably it can be even 4 marks, yeah. 1 mark, 1 mark, then 1 mark, 1 mark for each answer. So mathematics, basically, even if you get the answer wrong and your working was correct, then you probably get a mark or 2. So if you arrange your questions in the right manner, then probably you are going to fetch more marks. So now let's start with this equation. We've been given that we have 7x plus 4 equals to 14, 3x plus 2 is equals to 8. So now regarding substitution, just from the name substitution, you just find the value of one unknown and use it to substitute it in the next equation, making it easier for you to solve the next equation. Now look at this. We have 7x plus 4 equals to 14 and 3x plus 2 is equals to 8. For my case, I used the second equation, 3x plus 2 is equals to 8. Now, if you want to get the better one to start with, always look with the one is for the letter with the lowest number. In this case, I took 2. You see here, y has a number before it, which is, or a coefficient, which is 2. So I took this one because it will be easy for me to solve it. Yeah. Now, if you take this one, you see, now I want to find the value of y from this 2y. Yeah? Now, being that 3x plus 2y is equals to 8, now 2y will be 8 minus 3x. What have I done? I've moved this from this 3x here to the other side. And whenever a number crosses the equal sign, you always know that the sign is going to change. If it was positive, it will be negative on this side. So 2y will be 8 minus 3x. And now what about y? I'm interested in y. So y, I'll divide 2 both sides. I divide here by 2 and divide here by 2. 2 will cancel these 2, then y will be 8 minus 3x divided by 2. That's the value of y, the first value we got. Now, using this equation here, you can use it to find the value of x. How? Now, I'll take this value of y and substitute it in the first equation. Our first equation was 7x plus 4 is equals to 14. But now in this case, I won't put y here. Because y, I have gotten another value of y, which is 8 minus 3x over 2. So I'm going to be using this value where I find y. So wherever there is y, I substitute it in 8 minus 3x divided by 2. So in this case, it's 7x plus 4 into 8 minus 3x divided by 2, which is the value of y here, is equals to 14. Now solving this one, this 2 will cancel this 4, yeah? 2 divided by, 4 divided by 2. By 2, 1 here, by 2, 2 here. So it will be 7x plus 2 into 8 minus 3x is equals to 14. So when I continue solving my equation here, you'll get that 7x plus, now if I open the brackets, 2 times 8, 16, 2 times negative 3 is negative 6. So 7x plus 16 minus 6x is equals to 14. Now 7x minus 6x plus 16 is equals to 14. So when I want to find the value of x, what have I done here? I've opened the brackets first to get 7x plus 16 minus 6x is equals to 14. But now after opening the brackets, what did I do next? I'm following the rules of algebra. I placed the like terms together here. 7x minus 6x plus 16 is equals to 14. And now I have 7x minus 6x gives me x. So x plus 16 is equals to 14. Now, if I want to find the value of x, I'll just have to move this 16 to the other side. So x will be x plus 16 is equals to 14. Then x is equals to 14 minus 16. Remember the sign have changed when I move it to the other side. So x will be 14 minus 16. Solving this will give me x is equals to negative 2. But now remember, I had the value of y, but this value was in form of an equation. But I want to find an integer value for y. So since I have x, now it will be simple for me to find y. Why? Because I'll just substitute the values of y in x. Look at this one here. Y was 8 minus 3x over 2. And now I know that x is negative 2. So it will be 8 minus 3 into negative 2 divided by 2. And now it will be 8 plus 6 divided by 2. That will give you to 14 divided by 2, which is 7. So at this point, I have both values of x and y. X now is negative 2 and y is 7. So I double underline my answers. When I double underline my answers at the end, the teacher will be able to find my answers more easily for marking. Yeah? Now, if you want to confirm now that if your answer is correct, let's move to the next page. Confirmation now. I'll take one of the equation. This one was 3x plus 2y is equals to 8. And then I substitute my values for x and y and find if I'll get the same answer here. So 3x, in which x is negative 2, 3 into negative 2 plus 2y, 2y, in which 2y was 7. So 3 minus 2, okay, 3 into minus 2 plus 2 into 7, that will give you 3 times negative 2, negative 6 plus 14. 14 minus 6 will give you to 8, which corresponds to the value of the equation, which confirms to you now that the question is correct or the answer is correct. So guys, okay, today was all about solving simultaneous equations. I hope we've managed to get something. So maybe later on I'll be doing also for the other methods, but I didn't want to confuse you, so I started with the simple one, substitution, that is. Maybe in the upcoming videos, I'll be doing elimination, matrix, and graphical methods. So kindly subscribe if you want to get informed whenever I do more videos. And stay tuned for more videos as well. Share, like, and subscribe. And now, maybe the other thing is that for the candidates as you approach your KCSE, kindly remember whatever we have talked about arranging your work. Yeah, that will get you, it will be easier for you if you follow, a clean working. Yeah, so that's it for today, guys. I hope you've enjoyed the session. Let me know what you think in the comment section, in areas where maybe clarify or something. Yeah, thank you.